So let's talk about the user group in few seconds before I introduce our guest speaker for today. So just give me 1 minute. I'm almost there. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
We do.
Okay, thank you. Oh, my screen is sharing in another place. Sorry. Let me stop sharing this one and share probably here. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. So this is part of our monthly meetup sections that we usually invite guest speakers who are well experienced to talk about a particular topic that is going to probably influence people and they want to learn something new or a new way of doing things, within the Power Platform. Okay. So what is Power Platform? So Power Platform is, oh, sorry, let me start from the beginning. Sorry. Let me start from our community. Sorry. The Winnipeg Power Platform User Group is a dynamic community. We are dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations, which we have been doing, to enhance their skills in Power Platform, right? So we bring together people from different industries, different with different backgrounds, different knowledge. We bring them together for us to learn together, for that collaborative, to create that collaborative environment where we can share knowledge, best practices, and where we can all grow together. So it doesn't matter whether you are a beginner in Power Platform, whether you are intermediate or you are advanced, right? We all come together to learn Power Platform. And when I say for those that are new, when I say Power Platform, I mean Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, Copilot Studio, and Power Pages, right? So we have four major goals as a community. And one of the first one is knowledge sharing, which we have been doing. I remember last year, October, when we started this community, we started doing Power BI sections every Wednesdays and Sundays, right? And we have people who have passed their PL 300 exam by the virtue of, being consistent with that class, right? So we do knowledge sharing a lot. We have these kind of sections. We even started a Power BI, like a Wednesday meetings that people who are going to bring their issues and we are going to find a way to sort it out for them, right? So knowledge sharing is what we promote a lot in the community, right? We also promote innovation, right? If there's somebody who has built a solution before, they can, share with everyone how they were able to do it, and that is going to inspire some people to want to, learn more about Power Platform, right? We also build a collaborative community where we support each other, and we also stay up to date on the current trends and development within the Power Platform ecosystem, right? And the last part, which is the most interesting part, is that in this community, we support those that want to write Microsoft certification, right? By providing them with, all the resources they need in terms of past questions, in terms of creating study groups, in terms of supporting them and, telling them the areas of focus and all of those things. So we've been doing that for a while now, and we have like this, I think 3 to 4 or 5 people now since we started last year October that have passed their certification exams, right? Another good news is that we have one of our members who just recently got a role at Microsoft as a senior data analyst. So for those that are new here, what is Power Platform? So Power Platform is a low code, no code platform. Although, according to when I was watching the PPC conference they had at Las Vegas last year, I saw pro code now. So it means that if you are a developer, maybe a software developer, if you have that coding programming background, you can also venture into Power Platform to help organizations build and extend Power Platform abilities, right? For those that are new, Power Platform entails uh, you know some major tools like Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate. Power BI is for building reports, dashboards for the part of analyzing data. Power Apps is for building, applications, enterprise applications that enhance the day-to-day activity of an organization, right? Power Automate is for automating manual processes in an organization. And we have what is called the Copilot Studio, right? Where you can build bots that you can chat with and you can have a conversation with based on a particular domain or knowledge area, right? Okay. There are other parts of our platform like the Dynamics 365 and all of those, right? Now this is our topic for today, the art of KPIs, make metrics look good. One of the reasons why I'm really interested in this topic is because I really want to see what the speaker has to, say about this topic. All of us, we are used to building chart and graph. And probably most people are just used to using the default chart we have in Power BI, but there's a lot of ways you can actually customize because at the end of the day, the stakeholders don't even know all the technical jargons. They don't even understand all the things you do at the back end. You are the technical person, you understand what you need to do to optimize your report, to do this and do that. But at the end of the day, the what they will see is the visualization, how neat, how well packaged it is, your presentation, the look and the feel, how the different charts represent exactly the KPIs and the metrics that you are tracking, for the stakeholders. So it's a very important topic to enhance your visualization skills. And I believe that we are going to really learn something new from today's section, right? So this is the pictorial view of Power Platform. For those that are new, you see Power Apps, Automate, Copilot Studio, Power Pages, and Power BI. We also have the data connectors, the AI builder, and DataViz, which is the database for Power Platform. For those that want to venture into Power Platform, you can take the opportunity of writing some of these certification exams to enhance your skills, right? We have the PL 900, which will give you the foundational background to Power Platform that will it cut across all the different parts of Power Platform, right? We have PL 300, which is the Power BI Data Analytics Associate. We have the Power Platform Functional Consultant, which is the PL 200. There's the PL 400, well, that is the Power Platform Developer Associate. And we have, for those that want to go into robotic automation, that is PL 500, the Power Automate RPA Developer. And at some point, maybe when you get some work experience and you build some solution, you can also write the Power Platform Solution Architect, right? Which is the PL 600. Now, let's meet our speaker for today. Uh, Forgive me, Santa. I might not be able to pronounce your name fully, but I will just call out, the first six letters that I have in
You
your
can
name.
call me Lakshmi.
Lakshmi.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Lakshmi is a Microsoft MVP. She's a data pro and she's Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst associate. She's all about turning raw data into cool, actionable insights with her deep knowledge of Power BI's advanced features. She's famous for her creative and innovative reports that really make data pop. She's also one of the 4 finalists of the Microsoft Power BI DataViz World Championship 2025. I think that was in Las Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember. As a product lead, she does it all market research, testing, and collaborating with teams, brainstorming new ideas, and helping with marketing and creating engaging content. She's also an engaging speaker that loves sharing her knowledge with data community on her Medium blog. You can drop the link to your Medium blog, right? Offering tips and best practices. She's passionate about diversity and inclusion. She mentors aspiring pros, especially women, to help them reach their full potential in the data field. When she's not diving into data, she is a proud Corgi paw parent who loves outdoor adventures and trying new foods as a dedicated foodie. I think I like this part. Okay, for those that don't know what MVP means, it means Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. It's an award you get for contributing to the data community, right? For sharing knowledge, for always impacting people and impacting lives. Okay, now this is the summary of the section that we're going to have in today. The section will focus on how you can transform basic KPI cards into impactful visuals using Power BI new card visual. This section is actually designed for users who has, if you have some foundational Power BI skills, this section will offer you practical demos and creative design ideas that will help you make key metrics more engaging and informative. So what you will learn is that you will learn how to fully utilize the new Power BI card visual. You will learn how to design and format, all the design and formatting tips that will help you enhance KPI presentation. And also, you will learn ways to incorporate trends, targets, and storytelling into your KPI cards. So let me give it to Santa to continue with our presentation. Thank you, everyone, for staying by. You have the
I
floor now.
am, I, nope, I am still in the attendees list. You have to make me a presenter.
Oh, let me take you out of there, out of that room. Just give me a minute. I
Yep,
think I did that just to control the uh
sharing.
yeah. Okay, I've made a presenter now so you can share.
Uh, Perfect. Yes, just give me 1 second.
No problem.
Yep. Do you see my screen?
Clear, beautiful.
Perfect. All right. Let's take a moment to look at this slide. You see a lot of colorful boxes. These are KPI cards from different industries. So from retail to social media, from logistics to stock market, each of these card is like a little storyteller. Every card has a small story, and that's the beauty of KPIs. They might seem tiny, but they are mighty. And each one of the card that you see captures a key moment, a decision point, or maybe even a celebration. So in simple terms, it's similar to speed dating. You get the vibe in 5 seconds. You either are thrilled or you just want to move on to the next person. Welcome to the art of KPIs, or I like to call it turning data into tiny superheroes. These cards might look small, but they pack a punch. Let's dive into it. Before we start, quick introduction about me. Thank you to Benga. He already gave a brief introduction, so I might just skip this slide. But yeah, I mean, my name is Lakshmi. I will share my LinkedIn and Medium profiles. Feel free to connect with me, and let's directly dive in. Before we get into the demo, I have a couple of slides that I want to show, and trust me, they won't be that boring. Quickly, what are KPIs? So KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, just a fancy way of saying this is the number you should care about. So basically, they are measurable metrics for measuring a performance of a specific aspect against the goals or objectives. Basically, they tell you if you're winning, you're losing, or you're just vibing. Think of them like a newspaper or like a report headline. They are quick, sharp, and straight to the point. Why KPIs are essential? KPIs are essential for businesses because they help to identify areas of improvement. They help you track performance and make decision making support. So basically, by setting KPIs, you can focus on what matters to your organization and prioritize your efforts to drive growth and success. Because without KPIs, you're basically going on a road trip with no GPS and you're just hoping for the best. So decision makers, that was just an example. The reason why KPIs are really essential is decision makers do not want to go through pages of report or don't want to dig through pages. They just want to look at a number and decide we are doing great or we need to set up a meeting now. Next is how to select KPIs. This slide is really special to me, and I think most of you might relate to it. What happens is when we are given a data set, we are confused. We do not know what KPIs to show. So this slide is going to focus on that. I've added a simple acronym that I use when I select KPIs, and I hope it helps you. So selecting KPIs is not like picking topics on a pizza. So basically, the more is not better. So it's always better to keep it limited. What I do is I use a SMART framework where S stands for specific. Basically, the KPI should be clearly defined and specific to the single goal or area. M stands for measurable. It should be easy to quantify with the data that you have. A stands for attainable. They must be realistic and achievable. R stands for relevant, basically aligned to your business goals and objectives. T stands for time bound. They should always be measured with a defined time frame, be it daily, monthly, or quarterly. So this is something you should always keep in mind when you select KPIs. Let's quickly get into the anatomy of KPI. So basically, we're going to dissect a KPI. Every good KPI card should include these. The first is a clear label. Basically, what is the number about? And then a big number, which is a metric. Basically, that's your actual metric. Maybe an icon or a color to indicate the trend. So you can use the trend indicator, or you could even use a trend graph based on your space requirements. You can decide. And then comparison value so that you can compare to maybe a previous period or a previous goal. So this is the anatomy of a KPI. If you have the four of these main elements in your KPI, you're good to go. The next question is location of KPIs. A lot of people ask me, like, where do I put my KPI cards? What I would suggest is top left or the top center. But the reason being, most of the people read from left to right and top to bottom, unless culturally it's the other way around. So my only suggestion, I don't have like a prime real estate to suggest. My suggestion is put them where your eyes go first. Basically, think your dashboards are newspapers. You wouldn't want the breaking news to be put on the bottom. So always make sure that you put them where your eyes go first. I want to back this up with a small survey that I came across a few days ago. So this is the Tableau research and design team. What they did is in the Tableau conference, they set up an activity called eye tracking station. The question they had in mind was, can we predict where do people look at a dashboard when they see the dashboard at the first time? So what you see on the screen is a highlighted heat map, basically shows and highlights the areas that drag the user's attention. So what you see here is the users start from the top center or say top left corner, and then they scan. And then in the middle, you see the heat map becomes a little lighter. And then at the end, basically on the bottom right, it becomes brighter. So basically, this is how the
Quality.
eye
Kasi yung
tracking.
ano, Rowan, product based
Uh,
ba
do,
yan?
you, do you have a question? Okay,
Sorry, you can mute yourself if you are not the one presenting, please.
no
Continue,
worries.
please. Thank you.
Okay. So this was a heat map that I wanted to show. So when you see how the heat map is focused on the top. So that's the best place to put on your KPI cards. Another quick study result also told that big numbers matter. So and it's a small video that I would like to play. So you see how the top portion gets highlighted first because the numbers are huge. And that's where humans tend to look at. So this is something which I found out was studying about it. So big numbers actually matter. Dashboards with large numbers showed concentration of visual attention directly at the big number. You
Sorry,
can clearly
Lakshmi,
see that.
your slide is something like black, like blur.
Yes. Yeah, it is meant to be like that. So what
Oh,
I'm
okay,
trying to
okay,
tell
sorry.
you, yeah, no worries. So what I'm trying to tell you is the white parts that you see is what humans tend to see first. So the black part that you see are basically just you can call it clutter. So this is where we have to focus and put all our big numbers on the top. Moving on to the next slide is put important things first. The sequence of the presentation matters and the most important data should be presented first. So this was another heat map that we just see where the top portion is highlighted more. So basically, we as humans tend to look at that more. Quickly, do's and don'ts for creating KPIs is group KPIs together logically. All the KPIs should be together. Do not put two KPIs on the top and two KPIs at the bottom. Next, make sure the KPIs are distinct. Basically, highlight them. Once I look at the dashboard, I should know that these are the KPIs. Third, 3 to 5 KPIs are ideal. Do not overload your one-page dashboard with 8 to 9 KPIs. 3 to 5 are ideal. Something that you should not do is make sure there is no scrolling. So a KPI card should not have any scroll bars. The user should not have to scroll up and down to view the data. Similarly, avoid hiding KPIs in tabs. Do not have buttons on clicking the button showing KPIs. That's not the right way to do. KPIs should always be present ready on your report. And enough with the slides. Let's directly jump into Power BI and bring this to life. Any questions you guys have, just put it on in the chat description. We can take the questions at the end of the session. Okay, let me quickly switch my screen. Okay, and perfect. Yeah. Do you guys see my Power BI screen?
Not yet.
Eh,
We are
not yet.
seeing you again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just a minute. Let me reshare. Yes. Do you see my Power BI screen?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Sriram. Okay. So let's get started. The first thing what I want to tell you is the KPI. We will start by creating KPI cards with grouping different native visuals. And then I'll give you a quick introduction to the new card visual. The reason why I am not starting directly with the new card visual is the new card visual is a preview feature. So basically it is under preview. Many organizations do not want to use preview features in their production environment. And that's the reason I wanted to start with something simple that you could create with native visuals, and then we'll proceed to the new card visual. Starting with the KPI in the native visual, let me quickly begin with a quick introduction about the data set that I have, a simple calendar table, and then I have a simple sales data table. Let's just quickly view what I have on the sales data: country, my item type, order date, order ID, shipping date, unit sold, unit price, unit cost. So basically what you see is just a very simple data set. And now my goal is I need to find out an actionable KPI out of it. And can I get the data set? Yes. Maybe after the session, I can host this somewhere. PBIX file you guys can download and practice on it as well. Okay. So the first thing what I've done is I have a simple slicer that I've used, and this is something that I want to teach how you can create. So if you see the anatomy of this KPI, it's a very basic KPI, and we'll start with a basic KPI and then we'll try to make it more informative. The first simple thing what I have done is, if you see, let me go to the selection pane and open this group. You see how there are 4 elements in this particular group. That simply means to create this particular KPI visual, I have used 4 separate native visuals. The first thing, since it's total sales, I have created a simple measure called total sales. So let me just zoom it for you, just sum of sales. What I'm going to do is going to use a simple card visual. This card visual is a native visual, so you're good to go in production as well. And using my total sales. Quickly doing a couple of formatting. While I do formatting, there sometimes I also share about a couple of tips and tricks, so make sure you do not miss anything. So what I'm going to do is just add a title, total sales, changing let's say the font size, and then reducing the size as well, reducing the size. Okay, while we are on it, a quick suggestion. So when we are playing around with the size, what we tend to do is click up arrows or click down arrows continuously, and then we keep looking if it's good or not. Instead, what you can do is click inside this box. Basically, just select this and then use the scroll button on your mouse. So you see this little scroll ball on your mouse. You can just scroll up and down and you will see the change in the size. So basically you don't have to keep clicking your arrows up and down. So quick tip here. So once you are satisfied with the card visual, just place it. Currently, just for the demo purposes, I am increasing the size so that it's clearly visible. But according to your requirements, according to the space in your dashboards, feel free to play around with the size. Now I have one element ready. The next element is a image, a simple image where I just go to insert, clicking on image, and I already have the icon ready. So what I'm going to do is just import the icon. And then I am going to resize it according to my needs and place it here. That's good. Next, remember I told you in the anatomy of a card, I always need a trend indicator, either as numbers or as a trend line. So what I am going to do is now teach you how you can create this simple line chart. And I know all of you know how to create a line chart, but do you see how the highest is marked in green and lowest is marked in red? This is something what I want to teach you. What I'm going to do, simply select a line chart and let's fill it with values. So this is the total sales. So I'm going to put x-axis as total sale, y-axis as total sales. And for the x-axis, let's just use month for now. I have the month ready. Now I have to transform this into something like this. So simple things, what I'm going to do is switch off all the unwanted items. For example, I do not need the title. I do not need the x-axis values. I do not need the y-axis values, and probably even the values can be switched off. So now I have a very bland line chart that you just see. And just adjusting the size. So remember when I told you there should be no scroll bar. So never keep your charts like this. The user should not be forced to scroll. So make sure you adjust it in a way that the scroll bar is hidden. And then let's just switch off the back. Now, simple things that we are going to do is change the color to black. All of you might think that's easy. Yes, it is easy. You convert it to black. And then I'm going to add in markers because remember, I want to show the highest in green and lowest in red. Now here comes the catch. So when you go to markers and color, you see I am not able to conditionally format the highest and lowest because I do not have an FX here. I don't know why. Maybe, I mean, I did suggest this to Power BI that they should have, but I found a quick workaround. What I do is once I am good with the trend visual, I quickly convert it into a bar chart. And then now when you go and see the color of the bar chart, you get FX. Now I click FX. Now I change the value. So basically what I'm going to do is set up rules. My total sales is more than 0% and less than 100%. So basically anything not the highest or the lowest. Sorry. Yeah, more than is okay. I want it in, say, black is fine. And then the highest, so basically when it's 100%, I want it in a green. So just select your green. And then when it is at the lowest, I want it as a red and click OK. Now you see how the highest is in green and lowest in red. Once you're satisfied with this, all you have to do is just click on the line chart again. So now you see how I could easily highlight the highest and lowest in spite of Power BI not giving me an option. So this was just a workaround that I found out. Feel free to play around with the size of the marker and the size of the line chart. So yeah, I'm satisfied with this. Now, you have your chart ready. Always remember, do not have floating numbers or floating charts on your report. They make it messy. So when you compare this KPI on the top and this KPI, you see how that's contained in a group, but here it's just floating. So what I'm going to do is add a simple shape. Now comes the tricky part. So now I add a shape. Now, oh my God, my numbers are hidden. Simple, you don't have to restart. What you have to do is just go to format. You have send to back option, hit send to back. Once you see my shape is sent to back. Now let's do a couple of formatting since I do not need the fill, switch off fill, and the border, I'm just going to change it to a lighter shade of gray. And then feel free to adjust your size according to your needs, according to the space. Once you are satisfied with all of this, All you have to do is drag everything together like this. So you do not have to click control or shift and do it. Just drag everything together like this. You see everything is selected. Do a right click, group it, and group this. The best part about this grouping is once you group it here, you can easily move the visuals. And a quick tip for people who do not know, you see these three dots on the top. So you can use these three dots on the top to move visuals. For example, let's talk about this slicer over here. What we people generally tend to do is move using the visual. Sometimes it doesn't work. Always move visuals using these three dots. It works perfectly. It always works perfectly.
Yeah,
Okay, so
content.
now I have a KPI ready. Quick things to note here is I use 4 different native visuals. The reason why I use native visuals is if your organization wants to push this to the prod, they can do it without any worries. Now, remember I told you in the anatomy of a card, it's very important to have context. Quick use case scenario. See, I am the CEO of a company and I look at this KPI and I am very happy that, oh my God, my sales is 1.74 million. But the important thing here is I don't have any number to compare it against. What if last year my sales was 2 millions? There is no point for me to be happy because I am not performing as well as I did last year. So it's always important to have to add context. So I hope this is good with this. Now, next we will start with how can I improve this and add more context? Now comes the tricky part, a part where people are scared of DAX. If you're scared of DAX, let me tell you, it's plain English. And I also want to quickly explain the DAX that I'm using here. If you keep this in your mind, you will never be scared of DAX. What now we are going to do is remember the same KPI card from the previous page. Just going to add a number that I can compare my current sales against. What I'm going to do right now is find the previous year sales. So total sales, I hope everyone is clear with this. Total is basically sum. So I just created as total sales. Now let's talk about the previous year sales. Always remember, whenever you want to find sum of something, so basically, I want to find an aggregation of something along with a filter in it. I should always use the calculate DAX. For example, quick example, I want to find the sum. I want to find the sum of units that were sold and the product type being clothing. So basically, you see how I have a filter behind it. So whenever you have a filter, you have to use calculate. Now, since I am going to calculate the previous year, so I have a filter previous year, I simply write calculate. And then comes, what do you want to calculate? I want to calculate the total sales. And then you put your filter. What is the filter? The previous year. So basically, you have the previous year DAX available. Just use previous year and put in your date. So that's pretty much it. So when you look at this DAX, don't have to be scared. Previous years is I'm calculating the total sales of my previous year. So you're good with it. So what I'm going to do is let's copy and paste this here. Okay. Now I have a previous year value. So I'm going to use another card visual. And then I am going to drag this previous year. So I have a measure table where I organize everything. So you will see that I have a measure table under the KPIs. I have my previous year sales. I have my previous year sales. Quickly formatting this so that I can fit it in there. So what I am going to do is reduce the size, change the font family, reduce the size even more, make it smaller. Since it's a comparison value, I don't need to really highlight it. So I'm just going to make it smaller and remove the background and place it somewhere below my number. And then probably I'm just going to ungroup this because I will have to increase the size of my shape. Great. So now I have a previous value to compare. The next thing, how would I know what this is? I know it's a previous value, but how would the end user know it? Simple, use a simple text box to show that it's a previous value. And then just put it right here, switch off the background so that it doesn't interfere with my the next card. So just put previous year and then That's it. Pretty much you're good to go. So you see how, let me align it for you. Yes. So now what you can do as a CEO, I can compare the previous year it was 1.81, but this year it's 1.74. Basically, I am not doing that well. I should have done better. The current sales should have been more. So you see how just by using a simple DAX statement, I added a previous value. Next, say I want to add more context to it. Simple DAX where I am going to find the difference between my total sales and the previous year sales. Basically, say a sales growth just to make sure to see how much has gone up or how much has gone down. So, like I told, since it's a sales growth, a simple DAX where I'm just using my total sales, subtracting my previous value, previous year sales. So let me just copy paste this card visual, and then I am going to replace this with my sales growth. So you see now how I have a negative number, just placing it right next to it. So what does this number indicate? It indicates that the difference between this year and the last year is minus 71.78K dollars. So basically, I am not really doing well. I'm $71,000 behind my previous year. So you see how just by adding two simple card visuals, I was able to add more context to it. Quick note here, the more elements you add, sometimes there is a drawback. I will talk to you about it soon. So this slide is basically just wanted to tell you how easy it is to understand DAX and quickly add context to your KPI cards. Next, we are going to make it even better. What we're going to do right now is, remember we had a context card. So let's just copy paste this and then I will do it fresh for you. What I want to do is, you remember how I told you, use colors or icons to indicate or highlight something. So now I am going to create this just by using another simple DAX. Remember, this entire card visual is from the previous slide. Just going to ungroup it. Now, my aim is, I want a background color to this number. If it's negative, put it in red. If it's positive, put it in green. Easy for me to understand. If it's in red, I will always know that, oh my God, I need to work hard. And if it's green, I can go ahead and celebrate. So what I'm going to do for this is a simple DAX. Quick suggestion for all the pro Power BI users here, always have measures in a measure table. And the way I like to do is, I hope you see my screen. In the measure table, I have something called constants, and I divide it into elements. So for example, if you see colors, I have colors along with the hex code. So let me just zoom it. So I have selected a dark green color. I have selected a dark red, light green, righted, and I've organized it in here. How it helps me, I don't have to keep looking for hex codes here and there. I already have it saved. So when I am using this in my DAX measure, I don't need a hex code. I can directly refer to this. Let's go back now. So let's talk about this particular DAX code. Simple, a growth color. I just want to compare if my sales growth is more than 0. So basically, if it's positive, give it in green. If it's negative, put it in red. Simple DAX. I hope everyone was able to understand. Now what I'm going to do is click on my sales growth KPI card. If you notice, I want the background to change. So simply go to background. Always remember, when there's FX, that simply means you can do the FX is basically going to conditionally format it. Going to FX, and I'm going to put it in the field and find out this particular DAX. So it's growth color comparison, and hit OK. You see how my color changed. Now let's just quickly change the call out value to white so that it's better. Now let me just show you. Do you see how when I change my slices, the values conditionally change? Quick look into the green. The current is 1.81, the previous is 1.75. So the current sales is doing really good. So it's green in color. So this is the quick DAX that I wanted to share with you. You can either use these green dark red, or you can simply put in your hex codes here. But the thing is, you will have to note down your hex code somewhere to do it. So now from a basic KPI, we've reached all the way here. Next, what I'm going to do is add, okay. Now here, if you see, all the numbers are huge numbers. For example, 1.74 million, 1.81 million, minus 71.78K. A little better, what we're going to do is find out a percentage instead of just giving a direct number. So for that, that's something called a year over year percentage. Simple DAX, it's always total. So basically your sales growth by your previous year. So if you see, I'm just dividing my total sales minus previous year sales. So basically my sales growth. And then I'm going to divide it with my previous value. I have no idea why I copied it twice. Let me just delete it. So now what I'm going to do is replace my number into a simple percentage. So you see here, I had minus 71.78K. And now here I just have 3.97%. So I'm just converting it into a percent. Next, this is something just I wanted to show. If you feel that, oh my God, this red is too bright for me, I want it in a lighter shade. This is an alternate that I wanted to show you. So what I've done here is I've added a lighter background and I've highlighted the number, the font color in a red. So if I'm going to change, you see how the font color also changes. So basically, here, only the background is conditionally formatted, but here the text is also conditionally formatted along with the background. So just want to make sure you know the difference. So this is a quick alternative for people who like subtle dashboards, who do not want bright greens or bright reds in their report. Perfect. Next, what we are going to do is add in an arrow. Now, if you know, if you have images or if you have icons, it's more easy for you to understand. So what I'm going to do is add a simple arrow. So if it's going to be a positive number, if it's going to be an up arrow, if it's going to be a negative number, it's going to be a down arrow. A simple way. So this is what I want to show you. This is what I'm going to do right now. So you see how negatives have a down arrow, positives have an up arrow. Quick look into the DAX for this. Very simple. I'm going to have a formatted value. So this is just a variable that I'm creating a variable where I'm going to format my YOY percentage into just one decimal point. So if you go back, you see I have 0.76, 2 points of decimal. But now I just want like a 1 point of decimal. So I'm just adding a format statement. You can completely ignore this if you do not want to format your percentage. Next, you see how I have a number followed by an arrow. So basically, if my sales, what I'm going to do is use my formatted YOY and is a concatenation followed by a space and down arrow. So if my sales growth is negative, so let's go to negative. Do we have negative? Yeah. So if my sales is negative, show me my YOY followed by a space and a down arrow. So you see here, I have a YOY followed by a space followed by a down arrow. Now, the down arrow, I have created another measure. Let's move on to the measure table. In the constants, you see a folder arrows. Here, I have given the unique characters. So the down arrow is represented by this and the up arrow is represented by this. So I have it fixed in under my constants measure. So what I'm going to do is if it's negative, show me a down arrow. If it's positive, show me an up arrow. That's it. That's pretty much about this DAX. Just want to show you to make sure you're not scared of DAX. Once you do this, all you have to do is, let me also show you that. So let me just copy paste this and then replace it. So if you remember, what I'm trying to do right here is, okay, 1 second. Simply replacing this percentage along with along with an arrow. So I am going to add, where is it, YOY formatted. That's it. All I've done is replaced it. So you see how from a basic KPI, we've come all the way to an advanced KPI. Okay, now let's talk about the drawback. Quick thing that I wanted to tell you is the more elements you add to your report, the more elements you will see in the selection pane. Every time you have, say, an automatic refresh or you're opening your dashboard or refreshing your data set, everything is going to be reloaded again. So it might hit your performance. So make sure if you're adding too many elements to your single KPI, the performance is going to have an hit. Keep that in mind always. Also, what I wanted to show you quick alternates that I created using the same stuff. So just a couple of rearrangements. If you see how I bought the line chart below, the same thing I've represented in a bar chart. And then another is I've used to compare my previous and current values. So somewhere you see the previous goes high, the current comes low. So this is just alternative, say, you can say design ideas that you could play around with. So now, yeah, that's pretty much about how you can create KPI cards using basic native visuals of Power BI. Now let's talk about the magic feature and my current favorite visual in Power BI, which is the new card visual. So in the visual pane, you see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, sorry, here. So you see 1, 2, 3 along with the thunderstorm symbol. So that is the new card visual that Power BI has just, got it a few months back, and it's in a preview feature. The way you can enable the preview feature is go to settings. So you go file, you go to options and settings, or on the bottom right, you see the gear icon. Just click on the gear icon. You will be able to open the settings. Let's give it a minute. Yeah. So since I told it's a preview features, directly go to preview features and you will find new card visual. You will have to enable this in order to go ahead and play around with it. Mine is currently enabled, so we're good with that. Now, let's quickly go to the new card visual. These are the type of KPIs that you could create with new card visuals. And the best part about this is they are a single element. Let me just copy paste this particular KPI. So where you see I have a metric along with an icon. Let's go to the selection pane. You see how this is a single visual. Similarly, let me also show you something else. Let me copy paste this. So here in this KPI card, simple KPI card with total sales and total units, even though there are two separate cards here, in the selection pane, you see it's a single element. So the new card, using the new card visual is really helpful, really affects the performance and improves it. Just wanted to show you what is the advantage of using the new card visual. Let's quickly play around with the new card visual. I'm going to build it from scratch. Simple, what we are going to do is click the new card visual. It comes up here. And then I am going to add total sales to it. So adding total sales. So this is how it comes up. Let's look into the formatting settings. Simple things that we're going to do is reduce the size of the 1.75 million that you see. Reduce the size. And then total sales is fine. Now, the best part about the new card visual is you can add an image into the new card visual directly. So you go to images. In the images, select my total sales, switch on your image, and then you have two options. Either use an image which is downloaded in your system or use an image URL. Just for the demo, let's stick with simple image. Yeah. Now I've selected my image. You have, let me just show you how it works. So now my image is, the image that I have in my system is this huge. The best part is I can play around with the size in Power BI. I don't have to go ahead and download a new visual. I'm just going to reposition it to the left of my visual, and then you see the size, fixed size. I'm going to play around with the size. So let's just keep increasing your size till you feel you're okay. Yep. So once you're satisfied with your size, just you adjust your visual, you have a new card visual. So you see how it was very easy to play around with it. You do not have to import an image and keep moving up and down and make sure it's settled in well. So this is a simple KPI card. Another thing that I want to tell you is, say you want to show 2 to 3 different metrics in the same thing. So total sales, total units, all you have to do is drag and drop your total units to it. You see how automatically a new card has been joined. To add in an icon for this, simply go to the total units, switch on your images and repeat the same process. For the demo, let's just stick with one KPI visual so that I can help you enhance this. You can use the same to add in more KPI cards at the end. So this is the first thing. Like I told you, every KPI card should have a context. This is very bland. I cannot take any actionable insights out of it. So, okay. So what I'm going to do right now is add more context. The best part about the new card visual is they have a section called reference labels. So basically, I'm going to add a reference to my original metrics. All I'm going to do is remember the PY sales DAX that we created. Just going to drag and drop it inside my reference labels. You see how automatically the PY sales, let me just, yeah, you see how automatically you see that you have the PY sales that directly pops up here. Now, all you have to do is just play around with the settings. For the settings, you have a lot of options. Just want to quickly show because we might run out of time. Title, play around with the size, bold, colors, you can play around with it. But make sure you remember that reference labels is the place where you add more reference to your metrics. Now, it's not limited to one metric, one reference, you can add more references. Let me also add in sales YOY. So you see I have sales YOY. Play around with the formatting settings. And then let me just show you. So you can get something like this. So here you see how my PY is bold, the sizes have been reduced to get a compact KPI card. Now, next, if you think you do not want all of this together next to next, you can play around with it and make sure you get like a tabular format. All you have to do is go to reference labels. In the all, you have an option of converting it into a tabular format. You will find it in the settings, play around with it. Since we're out of time, I don't want to go deep into it. You also have settings where you can have your KPI references like this. Instead of below each other, you can have next to each other. So this is a basic introduction of KPI cards. Let me show you how you can enhance those. Simple tricks. What I have done is, let's pick this particular KPI card. You have a KPI card. Now, remember, I added a reference value next to the KPI card. The way you're going to do is, I'm going to add more detail to my reference. Simple. Go to your reference label, select which reference label. So I'm going to make changes to my previous year sales. And then you have something called details. Switch it on and then pull in your detail, whatever you want to show right here. Let me just change the font size. So you see how I have 0.76% now. So basically what I've done right now is dragged and dropped my detail to my reference label. So that's how you can remember it. My main metric, followed by a reference label, and then a detail to my reference label. Next, use the same things that we did last time. Add more formattings or just like add an arrow. So let me just drag and drop the same formatted value that we had. So pretty much simple. Next, to play around with the background, to play around with the colors, use FX. Use the same color DAX that we created previously. So when you do that, you will get something like this. Next, to make it look even a little more prettier, you can add accent bars. So go to cards, switch on your accent bar, and then increase the size. You see this, what is this? This is a bar that you see right here. Play around with the size. And then what you can do is customize it, use FX, drag and drop the same measure. You're going to get something like this. Let me increase the size for you so that you can see. You see a thick green line. Now, when I am going to switch, you're going to see that the line is also going to change color. So quick way to make it look more beautiful. Let's make it even more prettier, like something like this. All I did is just added a background color to my topmost section. Go to reference labels in the background. So in the background, just use the FX to get that. When I change, you see how it changes to green and red. Another quick thing that you could do is, instead of adding the background on the top, I'm going to add background on the bottom. Quick notes here, do not get worried or overwhelmed, like you do not know which setting you have to look through. Just think it in plain English terms. If it's background, go ahead to format and just type background. You will get all the subheadings with background, and then just make sure you choose the correct background to change the color. This is another quick way. And yeah, so just wanted to show you. This is a KPI card with two cards in it. So if you see, one is positive, one is negative. So when I change, everything changes conditionally. So yeah, that's pretty much about the designs you can play around with the KPI card. And then there is a feature called small multiples, that is categories. So if you see in my data sets, you remember I had a lot of categories. You can easily show these categories. If you are going to use the basic KPI card to show categories, you are going to have to copy paste and then change categories. That's going to add more bulk to your report. But in Power BI, the new card visual has automatic support to it. Let me show you what it is. So you see how I have a simple KPI card. All you have to do is drag and drop the category section into your categories right here. Automatically you will see the values get calculated according to the categories. So that's a quick way to save time. So now I know cereals has been doing better. Clothes and fruits have not been doing better because they're red in color, they have down arrows. Next, you can play around with the heading. So you think it's too much, it's taking too much space. What you can do is simply tilt the headers. Again, since I told you these are called headers, you have small multiple headers. Go to orientation and change the orientation and play around with it. Quick best practice is to avoid orientation because no one wants to tilt their head and read the headers. Always keep it simple. So that's why I came up with something like this. Instead of having taking too much space, instead of making the user tilt his head, you can have something like this. The simple way to do this is go to your small multiples layout and change it to a single row. So basically from a single column, you will get it into a single row. Next, to make this even more prettier, what I did was simply added background colors to the headers. So in the small multiples header, go to background color and use the FX option. So whenever I am going to change my values according to my growth, you see the background colors change. So you see how conditionally, so basically in 2020, everything, all the categories performed well. So that's how you could improve it. And something that I am currently playing around, I know a lot of you might have questions is, how do I add a line chart or maybe a bar chart into it? Maybe I want to add a trend indicator as a chart. How do I do that? You surely can do it. And this is a quick example that I whipped up in the morning to show you guys. All you need for this is DAX, but lot of DAX. This is an advanced section, so I don't want to really cover it, but I just want to show you that it is possible. I can show bars like this inside the KPI card itself, inside the new visual itself. Maybe we can have another session where we can dive into advanced features of the KPI card. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Quickly going back to the PowerPoint presentation before I pick up the questions. Is so and yeah, so these are the samples of the KPI cards that we built today using the top three you see is using the native visuals that are very good, easy to put on the production and will have no problems. These are done using the KPI card, the new card visual by Power BI. Since it's in a preview feature, I would suggest think twice before you use it. And we did a lot of things like played around with the conditional formatting, understood DAX in an easier way. Don't be scared of DAX. And then we added icons and we did a couple of stuff to make sure that these small cards give more information rather than just the metric. And that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for joining. I hope now you would create better KPI cards. Always remember, less is more, clarity is key, and context is everything. So feel free to connect with me. Any questions, I am ready to take right now. I do see a question where they asked, how many cards can we group in a new visual? I am not sure about it, but we can quickly find it out. So let me just copy paste. Okay, I already have this. So if you go into the layout, you have max cards shown. So I think, oh wow, it just keeps going. 99 is the maximum number of cards that you can show in a particular section. But like I told, stick to 3 to 5. That's more than enough. And any other questions, I am free to take up. I hope you had a good session. I hope you learned a lot of things. How did you get these icons? Yeah, flat icon is good. And something that I like is free pick. So all the images that you saw on my presentation is also from there. I am just putting in the link in the chat. And any other questions, Benga? Am I missing anything? Let me know.
This section is one of the best that we've had. This is great. This is wonderful. I really
Perfect.
learned new stuff, man. This is really good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone that has you have any questions? You can unmute yourself. But please, if you know you have a very noisy background, I would suggest you just type in your questions in the chat section instead of, because we are recording this now, we don't want to be doing a lot of editing at the end of the day. So, guys, any questions? You can unmute yourself. It has been a wonderful session for me. I don't know about others. You can put in your comments in the chat section. If the section was wonderful to you, you can just add in your comments.
Yes. So there is a question where the person wanted to see the bar chart on the KPI. So this is the KPI. I can probably copy paste it for you, but I think I might reach out to Benga and conduct another session for advanced KPI
We
cards where
would
I
we
can
would be happy to have you again. Like like anytime soon.
absolutely.
We'll be very happy to have you again.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's do that. I've added the DAX in the comment. I'm not sure if
Hmm?
you'll understand it, but go through it. It's easy, very easy to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and yeah, any other question? I see a comment from Sneha. Thank you so much, Sneha. Thank you for attending the session. Thank you.
I think people so much enjoyed the section that they don't even have any questions. it was fully
Perfect.
it was fully packed. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
guys,
And
don't
mhm.
forget that this was organized by the Winnipeg Power Platform User Group in Canada, and we'll keep having so many sections like these, interesting sections like this to the end of the year, to December. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. What's it called for today is going to be it's already recorded. I'm going to do some editing and post on the YouTube channel so you can rewatch this section again. And I also would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I already pasted the link so that you can enjoy very beautiful and wonderful Power Platform content like this. Thank you, everyone. You can reach out to me on link. Let me drop a link. I think you dropped your link to your LinkedIn, right? But let me
Yes, I
just
did.
drop it again for those that want to connect with you. Yes, I've dropped the link so you guys can reach out to her on LinkedIn. Yes. Yeah, good. You can also drop the link to your Medium. People can go there and read stuff for
Yes.
them to learn one or
I
two things. Thank you so much. The section was
thank you.
really wonderful. In fact, we would like to have you between now and the end of July. I'm telling you. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So,
Thank you,
guys, we've
everyone.
come to the
Bye.
end. Yeah, we've come to the end of today's section. Thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate you for staying by. We really appreciate our speaker for staying up to time. 1 hour. In fact, she was really timely. She was really timely. And she was able to cover a lot within the 1 hour. This is very great. So thank you guys. See you again in our next section. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gringa. Bye.